That was their league title right there. You win the game, no chance Real Madrid get back into it. You draw the game, you still give hope to Real Madrid, even though they obviously struggled themselves.
So both of the teams dropped points. Barcelona and Real Madrid. Barca get out that tie 1-1 to Betis, and Real Madrid lose at the Bernabeu. And it's just another slip up, but it makes this title race all the more interesting. Just 4 points separating those top two sides. Let's talk first about Barcelona. First of all, you have to give a lot of credit to Betis. Betis just beat Real Madrid about a month ago, and now they come in and win a hard-fought point at Barcelona. A fantastic match, really, back and forth, but it really is interesting that Barcelona just did not look like they were all there. The fatigue was clearly getting to them.
I think you're recognizing that a lot of teams who have got European games coming up are starting to focus with one eye on those European fixtures, not necessarily always focused on the match at hand. It's difficult to do that because of the repetition of games that happen so frequently. There's not much time on the training ground. You're rotating your players as much as you can, trying to get a performance from the players who go out there who are selected in that 11, which also has rotation in it. For Barcelona in particular, it was always going to be difficult because Betis are in great form right now. Pellegrini understands tactical man management is excellent. He's got his team playing great football. He's brought in Antin, who's been remarkable for them. Obviously, Cucho Hernandez has been excellent for them, even though I think there's more goals out there for them. They created a ton of opportunities. Maybe not as much as I would have wanted to see from them. They had 6 shots in the game. They had 2 on target. There was more goals out there for Betis in this game if they just showed a little bit more quality. But they've been doing really great of late. They're one of the more informed teams in Spanish football right now, and they're in real contention for a Champions League spot. But I don't want to take away from the fact that Barcelona kind of let themselves down here. This was an opportunity to have a 6-point gap between yourself and Real Madrid. And the performance, Stefano, wasn't up to scratch. It wasn't where it needed to be. Maybe it's the mentality. Maybe it's the one eye on the Champions League fixture that's coming up as well. But it's difficult, these games. It's not easy for a lot of the youngsters out there.
I think we're seeing that the fixture congestion in all the leagues, right? But the fixture congestion with the European teams that are playing in Europe, it's clearly having an effect on all of the title races, none more than this one in La Liga, because so many times this season now, we've seen, Real Madrid drops points here, Barcelona drops points here, Atletico Madrid drops points here, and it's always around some European fixtures. And I think fatigue is really playing a part with both of these teams. Today was kind of noticeable that Lamine Yamal was not at his best, and you have to ask the question, does this fixture congestion, playing so many games, having to manage that, is it affecting a player like Lamine Yamal, who's just 17 years old?
I think it affects every player, whether you're young or you're experienced. I mean, you can't imagine it's easy for Lewandowski to get up tomorrow morning after playing a large part of that game and looking forward to, obviously, the big games that are coming up. He's 36 years old. Chesney was on a beach about 6 months ago. It's also difficult for him to focus. So I don't necessarily feel so sorry for all the youngsters.
Fair.
But you mentioned something really important there. Fatigue is starting to set in. And I think Lamine Yamal, at 17 years old, he has a lot of reason to be able to be outspoken about how many games are being thrown his way. This kid obviously has gone through the Euros with Spain, got to the final, and obviously had tremendous success with him in the final. But his seasons over last campaign and this season, he's played 92 games for Barcelona. 92 games, and obviously his productivity has been excellent with 13 goals, 17 assists. That's wonderful to say. But for me personally, I always feel like we want to try and protect the youngsters as much as we possibly can. For Barcelona, they've done a good job recently of rotating their team. They do have players on the bench that they can bring on in place. I just wonder if you've got Lamine Yamal, who has a big voice now at 17 years old, wants to play every game. If Hansi Flick can be brave enough to say, son, take a break, we've got massive games coming up around the corner, today wasn't your day. I would have loved to have seen them make a change, obviously, with Yamal going out. Even though he was good in the game, he was not as good as he can be. He's got 1 assist in the last 4 games. We need more productivity from someone like him, especially in games like this. To me, that's a chance drop from Barcelona. That was their league title right there. You win the game, no chance Real Madrid get back into it. You draw the game, you still give hope to Real Madrid, even though they obviously struggled themselves. So too many games, I agree with you.
And speaking of that Real Madrid team, they also suffered that difficult defeat at home. And again, this is something that's kind of become an issue for Real Madrid, the slow starts in games. The issue is that they usually find a way to kind of turn things around and get a win, especially against some of the lower or mid-table La Liga sides. But today, it bit them again, where they really just didn't get off to a good start. They missed the penalty early, and it comes back to bite them.
Yeah, this was not a great performance from Real Madrid, although they had not lost a home game in the Liga with so many shots. I mean, they took 21 shots in this game. I think the last time was against Real Sociedad back in 2019, where they took almost 30 shots in the game and still lost it. They were not at the races. Even the penalty kick can be made as an excuse from Vinny Jr., which is poor from him. Obviously, between club and country, that's 3 consecutive missed penalty kicks for him. That's valuable for them in their title race as well. Obviously, we understand the penalty kicks is going to be a debate as to who wants to take that penalty kick, but look how many they've missed. It's just nowhere near good enough from them, especially when it comes to all competitions. I mean, 11 from 16, it needs to be so much better from them across all competitions. They need to have one designated penalty kick taker. That's as far as I'm concerned. And to me, it's always the one who didn't miss the last one. If you have multiple penalty kick takers, especially, I wouldn't give Jude it, I would give Kylian Mbappe the opportunity to be the guy that takes penalties until he misses. If he misses, then it's an opportunity for someone else to step up, unless he goes on a 14 penalty kick run, something like that. But I feel like games like this, when you just don't see Real Madrid play at their best, they've got one eye obviously on the Champions League as well, it's so easy to take away the fact that, oh, they look tired, they look fatigued. Real Madrid were not good in large parts of this game, full stop. They didn't have much quality in the final third. Previously, they have relied so heavily on Kylian Mbappe to drag them over the finish line. How many times have we sat here on Scoreline and we've said, he's done it again. Kylian Mbappe is pulling this team to success. Kylian Mbappe, he's the one who wants to win all the trophies. Real Madrid are still in every competition. They can still go and win that treble. But Kelly can't do it on his own. You need moments from Vinny Jr. You need Rodrigo not to be on the bench. You need him maybe starting the game. For me in particular, sometimes the team selection has been interesting from Ancelotti. He's got it wrong in large parts. And defensively right now, they are so vulnerable, Real Madrid. It is very hard for me to sit here and say that Real Madrid can get back in this LaLiga title race. I just don't see it.
Interesting, because you mentioned Ancelotti as well. I mean, how does he manage this now? Because it's a 4-point gap, so, I mean, a lot could happen. They still do play Barcelona in La Liga. They also play them in Copa del Rey in the final. A lot of Clásicos that could happen from here at the end of the season. So how does Ancelotti manage this? He obviously has to manage the penalty situation. He also needs to manage what to do with this team, what players to put on the pitch for which games. How does he manage this situation, still being in Champions League and now being a 4-point deficit? Does he go just for Champions League, or is he still going for both?
Listen, he's under pressure right now, even if he doesn't look like a man who's under any pressure whatsoever. It is fair. He's at Real Madrid. You've got to win trophies at Real Madrid. I understand he's won a few Mickey Mouse competitions over in the Far East. That doesn't matter to me. The 3 major competitions are La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the Champions League. That's all that matters to Real Madrid fans, their executives, and the board who decide whether Ancelotti stays or goes. They're in Copa del Rey final. They play Barcelona in the final. Barcelona have scored 9 goals in the last 2 games against them. To me, I still see Barcelona as a better team than Real Madrid at this moment in time. So Ancelotti is still in the competition against Arsenal in the Champions League. Couldn't reach Barcelona in the final. Could be an El Clásico final in the Champions League. And it could come down to the fact that if Barcelona obviously have success, they may have the opportunity of winning the La Liga title in El Clásico, which is only a few games away as well, depending on results.
I mean, there is a situation or a scenario that has Barcelona winning a treble and winning all 3 against Real Madrid. That would be epic.
It's insane. But listen, I don't want to take any shine. I know we don't have much time away. It's the first away win for Valencia in La Liga since April 15th, 24. They've been poor away from home. Their new boss has brought in a lot of success. It's their first away win against Real Madrid since 2008. It's remarkable what one man can do on the sidelines, and investing in him has been so successful because now they're away from that relegation zone.